If it's in Hampton Roads, it's on the Hampton Roads Show.
Wow! How about that greeting on a Wednesday morning? Welcome to the Hampton Roads Show. Our live audience today is from the Dwelling Place in Norfolk. And coming up a little later, we'll get the details on their 9th annual Golf Classic.
And Colonel William Crawford founded the city of Fort Smith. And if you stroll the streets of Old Town, you may bump right into the living legends.
Plus, we're talking about education credits and how you and your family can benefit from some of the tax breaks that come with a college education.
And Chef Wes Stepp from Red Sky Cafe in Duck, North Carolina is back with us today. He's fixing a delicious feast, rosemary lamb chops and a sesame pan seared mahi.
I think those are Wes's people.
They're either screaming for Wes or me. I don't know what it is.
Oh my gosh.
They were in the green room and she was like, you know, guys, let's just pump them up. Let's get the audience, let's get the host excited. I was like, can you do that for all of our audiences? You know, like they just pump up the crowd. And
that is great. We appreciate it.
We are talking about a golf tournament coming up, and this is the golf season yesterday. The 102.1, the game, 757 Club had a golf tournament. Johnny D and the boys had a great time out there. We're going to be lots of golf from here on out, raising money for a good cause.
Oh,
just want to give them a quick shout out.
So what I hear is that Chris has his clubs in the car and will be skating out early most days.
Oh, no, definitely not. All right, since we're talking about a good cause, today we're going to cover my dome, and we're talking about the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, Great Strides Walk, Cystic Fibrosis Foundation 2012, Great Strides Walk, April 21st at 9 a.m., Neptunes Park, Virginia Beach. For more information, log on to greatstridescff.org. And if you know anything about cystic fibrosis, it affects the lungs, and it makes it very difficult to breathe. So walk is a good way to, you know, to raise attention to cystic fibrosis.
It affects a lot of
this
children.
This is going to be difficult to breathe in this hat since I got such
there you go.
I got
make
such
it a little bigger.
Well, you know what, Chris? If I were to win the lotto, I will buy you a hat that fits you.
Thank you.
Fit your head. But that's one of our hot topics this morning. If you were like me, either last night you watched the winning numbers, or this morning you ran to the computer and checked your ticket. I had 10. But nobody won. Nobody won.
Had 10.
Nobody got 6 of the numbers right.
10 numbers or
10 lotto tickets.
Oh, okay.
The jackpot, the Mega Millions jackpot was $363 million. Now, since nobody won it, it's up to $476 million, the multi-state lottery. Although 47 players came close, they matched 5 out of the 6 numbers, and each of them took home $250,000.
Not bad.
Let me tell you, I had the 9 and the 44 right, and then 2 of the other numbers were 2 numbers off.
How'd you pick your numbers?
So I just, you know, it just came to me.
Just came to you?
Close my eyes, hit the screen. Close my eyes, hit the screen.
Wow.
So could that, did you buy a ticket? Have you played the lotto? Have you come close? Did you win anything?
Could the jackpot, it'll keep growing, right? People can buy tickets
because the next
leading up to Saturday. Friday. That's right. Oh, and you can watch the drawing right here on WAVY TV 10 during our 11 o'clock news.
So I'm going for another, maybe I'll do 12 this time.
I think the lottery gives you an opportunity to dream.
Yeah.
Dream big dreams.
Well, somebody has to win,
That's
you know.
true.
Somebody usually wins.
Are you split it? We can all split it. We all buy a ticket together, the whole show, and then we split it.
And you'd buy me a big hat.
Yes.
And then you'd have to decide if you would take the one lump sum after a big whack from the tax man, and it is still tax week here on the Hampton Road Show. So we're asking, we started asking, where are you in this process? Have you even started yet? Or today we want to know, are you the type of person who likes to sit down with your number 2 pencil and get it done yourself in your big eraser? Or do you feel more comfortable taking the return, your information to someone else to prepare your return? I mean, some people, you know, absolutely say, oh man, I'm going to have somebody else do this. And then others say, you know, I can do it. I can take on this challenge. So we want to know.
But there are pitfalls if you do it yourself, though. I mean, you might miss a deduction. You could get the numbers wrong. You can make a mistake. If it was my case, I'd probably make a huge mistake, cost me a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I don't like the thought of that. So
if
I'm going
you
to
do
give
it
it to a
yourself, do you have a
professional.
second set of eyes look at it? Maybe you know, have somebody double check your work or something. Go find your old math teacher and say, not going to be a little Chris Reckling.
Well, remember why we're in this business. I mean, we're in this business
terrible at
because
math.
we're bad at math. It's usually how it works in TV. So
all we can do is spell. I did mine last year. I did TurboTax.
how'd it go?
And it was pretty simple, but you know, this year.
Did you get money back or did you pay?
No, I got money back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bing, bing.
I got money
Let's
back.
take them to Arion. Let's have Arion do our taxes.
And then this year, I had them prepared.
I think people tend to do it themselves when it is fairly
Yes,
simple.
very simple.
But as life gets complicated, then, you know.
Yeah.
take it to somebody else.
All right, let us know. You can join our conversation a couple ways this morning. You can go to Facebook, our Facebook page, or you can follow us on Twitter at HR_show. What would you guys say about Wheeler? You think he's a... You think he
Wheeler
takes up
does
the
his
pencil
own.
himself, or
Wheeler
you
does
take it
his
to an
own.
expert?
Well, probably expecting a big old conversation, last about 5 minutes about how I do my taxes, but actually my wife does it.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah, she used to
Okay.
work for one of those tax preparers. When we got here, it was tough to find a job, so she went and did the little training thing and worked there. So she does the tax.
Right
That's it.
on.
That's all. Sorry,
Take
story's
our
over.
taxes
Well,
on? We should take our
We
taxes
can take
on?
our taxes, too.
She might. I don't know. It depends on how
Look
much
at
you're willing to
that.
pay.
Yeah, real high. She might, I don't know.
Depends on how much we get back.
You're right. Yeah, there
If
you
we
go.
do.
Yeah.
Well, you'll go in on a lottery ticket with me, right?
I might. I don't know. That might be fun. Yeah. That'd
Have
be
you ever
something
bought
to
a
do.
lottery ticket before?
Hampton Road Show pool
I'm
lottery
telling you.
ticket. You know,
All right,
get about
if the
$100.
idea comes, when we
What
win
is
it.
that?
If we win that jackpot, we're all out of here.
Who's
Well,
on the
We
show?
wouldn't have a show.
Hey, you might be.
still come.
Some people
I'd
still
come.
do their job.
I just be like, let's do what we want. I'm
Right.
going to buy all the furniture.
All right, you got a $1 million forecast today. I mean,
Yeah.
except for the
Wow.
wind. The wind is going to be up this afternoon and will be breezy. But other than that, it's high of 75. Mostly sunny
Nice.
skies. It's going to be great. Tonight, a spotty shower possible, but not likely. Tomorrow, 70 for a high, and then Friday, 65. We'll see fair skies, looking good. Saturday, a little chance for some rain, but it won't be a washout. And then Sunday's looking good. Highs in the 60s and partly cloudy skies. So pretty good weekend shaping up. Just a little bit of rain this time. Not like last weekend. All right, so let's see the pop quiz for today. Here it is. Born in Norfolk is a person. Famous actor, comedian, director, Venus Flytrap, Downtown Brown, and Will Barnett. And what we do to words. What we do to words. Think about that. Put the clues together, thehamptonroadshow.com, and submit your answer.
All right, well,
luck.
if you know the answer to that, today's winner will receive a Mirror Mirror movie prize pack that opens tomorrow. That includes a pair of tickets.
All right, we are in the kitchen this morning with Wes Stepp from Red Sky Cafe in Duck, North Carolina. One of our favorite chefs of all time. Wes, welcome back.
Thank you.
What do you got going on this morning? Other than, look at this display. Pretty amazing. What do we got?
Well, we're going to do a little bit of a sesame seared mahi, and we're going to do some lamb. Easter's right around the corner. We do a lot of functions down there at the Red Sky Cafe at Easter. And so when it's Easter on the Outer Banks, you have
Right.
seafood and meat.
Okay, and sesame seared mahi.
Yes,
That
sir.
sounds delicious. You know, if you've seen Wes work before, he works super fast, makes it look super easy. I don't know how you do that, but
It's really easy.
I know. It's real easy for Wes, but you know, for
I'm going to teach you
guys
how to
like
do
me.
it.
You gonna put me to work?
Next time, we're going to put you on this thing.
All right, he's gonna put me to work in just a few minutes, so stick around.
All right, it is tax week on the Hampton Road Show, and college, it isn't
wear
cheap.
hats.
But a lot of those education expenses could be deductible. Today we'll talk with Melinda Wiedenhoff from Jackson Hewitt Tax Service about how to make those education expenses work for you and your family at tax time.
But first, the Supreme Court is hearing challenges to President Obama's health care reform bill this week. Up next, Cheryl Tan tells us about an event that's all about clearing up the confusion about upcoming changes on this week's What's Your Problem?
Welcome back to the Hampton Road Show. Chef Wes Stepp from Red Sky Cafe in Duck, North Carolina is back with us in the kitchen today. And we are talking lamb chops and mahi, Wes.
Yes, sir.
Little surf and turf.
You got it. Now, one of the things that makes me quick is because the whole time we've been having everything, I've had my saute pans hot. So when they hit the flame, they're ready to go. So
That's
I
true.
kinda
That's one of
prep
the-
my area up a little bit.
One of the
you know?
keys to quickness, and it is hot.
It is
keep me
hot,
warm
nice
right
and
here.
warm. And
What are we going to start with?
we're going to start with the mahi mahi. We're going to do a sesame seared mahi. It's sort of a Pan-Asian type flavoring to it. We have fresh mahi mahi, which they are catching. And we're getting ready to do a Easter brunch buffet from like it's 11 to 4 on Easter Day. And it's been really popular in the past. So basically right here, I'm just using a little bit of fresh sesame and kosher salt and cracked pepper. I'm also going to hit it with a little sesame oil in that olive oil. Mix the two. Pan should be
Will
kind
that
of
just
hot.
give it an extra sesame taste?
You got it. You're going to really smell it too. They're not going to be able to smell it out there, but you're going
I
to get
will.
it. So you hear that? Nice and hot, ready to go. We're going to cover that. We'll let that cook down a little bit. What I want to do is brown it on one side. It's going to take about 2 minutes, 1.5 to 2 minutes on
Right.
each side. Sort of indicative of what we do down there on the Outer Banks. Anytime you have a Thanksgiving or an Easter, we take the traditional things and we kind of give them a new twist. And we incorporate and infuse that Southern Nouveau cuisine as well as fresh Outer Banks seafood and, you know, Virginia vegetables and all those different things.
Now talk about covering it. Is that just to get the top?
Basically what we did is we're creating some steam, so we're cooking from both sides right now.
Okay.
That's also going to add into us cooking it quicker here for what we're doing, our segment. Now, I guess you know, it's been beautiful. Jeremy's hooking us up with some good weather.
I know, and we were just talking that spring has been really early this season. Summer's going to be early, and you're seeing more traffic on the Outer Banks right now, aren't you?
We're seeing a ton of traffic down there on the Outer Banks. I'm doing a lot of bookings for fall caterings. People are really starting to book it up. We had a great wedding show last week, which we talked about last time. And now I'm starting to see the return of the chefs on call business, and that's where, like this weekend, I've got a couple families coming down. That's where one of my staff members come into the house and actually cook for you when you're down there on vacation.
What a great concept. That's really cool. How much fun is that for you?
It's a lot of fun for me. I get to talk to a lot of people one-on-one, just like we're doing right now.
Right.
And plus for them, they don't have to drive, they don't have to wait. You know, look at that.
Stand back, everybody. You're going to put the interns to work today, I can tell.
No way. It's not going to be too bad. Anyway, basically, I turned the heat off. You smell the sesame, though?
I do.
Yeah. So it's nice and golden brown.
Looks good.
I'm covering it again, and I turned the heat off. So that while we're talking, that's cooking.
Okay. Very cool.
Now, a curried aioli. I'm going to finish that with a curried aioli. Now, when you go out to nice, fancy restaurants, they say, oh, we're going to do a wasabi aioli or this aioli or that aioli. Aioli's French. Basically, aioli means flavored mayonnaise. So what I did was I took curry, and I took lemon, and I took a little bit of honey. Melted it in with a mayonnaise, and it's going to create a sauce that you're going to get to try here in a little bit.
That is a outstanding sounding mayonnaise.
Yep. The other thing we have today to top it off is cucumbers, fresh cucumbers, red onions, red peppers. Basically what I did was I marinated rice wine vinegar, sesame oil, and a little bit of a Thai chili. So it's a fresh, light ingredient. This is a really healthy dish.
Sounds like it. Okay.
We're done.
Mahi is done.
Perfect. Not overcooked.
What do we have here?
Crème Marnier, that's for the lamb chops, my friend.
Oh, okay, we'll talk about that later.
Right up. You can have it.
Just
no,
checking.
No drinking on the set, okay? Especially with that hat on. You don't want to debunk it. But anyway, the mahi's done. What I'd like to do is plate everything up at the end because basically it's sort of indicative of the catering presentation that we do. And if you come down to the Red Sky and try our brunch and you're thinking about catering an event, you're going to get to see it firsthand.
Yep. And nobody does it better or quicker than Wes at Red Sky Cafe and Duck. So we're going to come back. We do the lamb chops. The mahi is just about finished. And as always, he makes it look quick and easy. Nice job, Wes.
Rock and roll.
Well, this week the Supreme Court is hearing challenges to President Obama's health care reform bill, and Cheryl Tan is here with more on an event that is designed to put everything into perspective.
Marianne, truly the timing couldn't be better for an event hosted by a local service group to address health care reform. All eyes on Washington, D.C. as the Supreme Court justices weigh the constitutionality of the individual mandate provision that would require Americans to buy health insurance starting by 2014 or face a fine. In the meantime, here at home, there's a solution for those with questions about health insurance in today's What's Your Problem?
For most of us, we are unclear on the subject of healthcare reform and what it really truly means.
Fortunately, members of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority, the Chesapeake Virginia Beach alumni chapter, have the opportunity to do something about it. The organization, which focuses on public service, holds events meant to educate the community. On Saturday, healthcare reform is on the agenda, and the date is not a coincidence.
That's going to be the second birthday of the passing of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, which most of us know as healthcare reform. And so our goal is just to educate the public on healthcare reform and its impact on us as individual citizens.
The event will take place at the Kempsville Public Library in Virginia Beach on Saturday, March 31st from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Stopping by will be two people who are able to give insight and to answer questions. Jay Ford with the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation and Winston Whitehurst with the group Virginia Organizing.
We hope to learn exactly what are the specific details of this Health Care Act and how it affects us personally.
Chapter President Teresa Baker realized recently the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act offered a direct benefit to her. A few years ago, her son was dropped from her insurance once he reached the age of 23.
He'd reached the age of 23, and I told him, I said, walk lightly because, once you hit 23, you will no longer be on my insurance with the company that I work for. And sure enough, when he turned 23, he was dropped. And so for about a year, he didn't have insurance. And then when this was passed, I was able to re-enroll him.
Changes in the healthcare laws also provided a benefit to a friend of a chapter member.
She went in for a routine condition, which is hammer toe, and who would think that that would be considered a pre-existing health condition? She later, after being treated for it, applied for coverage and was denied.
Now, this is before the change, right?
Yes, this was before the change.
But who would have thought that that would have happened, right?
I wouldn't have, because that doesn't seem like it would be considered a pre-existing health condition. When you think about pre-existing health conditions, you probably are thinking of cancer and more serious illnesses. Me, myself, I'm not in the healthcare industry, and I'm not that closely related to it, so this is a great opportunity for us to take time out to educate the public, as well as ourselves.
Those separate cases provided a good enough reason to organize the forum. The experts will discuss what's happening now and what could happen in the future.
They're going to discuss how each president for quite some time has taken small steps to move toward what we now know as healthcare reform. They're also going to talk about what we can expect to see as incremental changes happen throughout the next few years.
And there are a lot of unanswered questions. We know that there's been a lot of debate about this act, and it's always good to have firsthand information.
Truly some great timing for this event, which is coming up on Saturday. Lots of folks may have healthcare questions relating to what they're seeing in the news about what's going on at the Supreme Court. It is free and open to the public on Saturday at the Kempsville Public Library in Virginia Beach, starting at 11 a.m., ends at 1 p.m. And again, you can take your questions and ask them one-on-one with the folks who are there.
Cheryl, a lot of people have great information. Thanks, Cheryl.
You're welcome.
Time to talk taxes once again, and we talked a little bit about education credits yesterday with Jim Copenhaffer from Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, and today we're going to learn a lot more about how education expenses can affect your tax return with Melinda Wiedenhoff from Jackson Hewitt Tax Service. Thanks for coming in.
Hi, thanks for having me.
A lot of folks, whether it's just they're graduating high school and going on to further their education, or adults going back to work, pursuing advanced degrees, or going back to school because of the economy for more training, may not realize some of the deductions that they're incurring right now.
We find it all the time. A lot of them think because they have student loans, they can't take the education credits, and you can, because you're going to pay that money back.
Okay.
So you want to, the education credit for the first 4 years is $2,500, $1,000 of it being refundable, which is $1,000 in your pocket to pay for the next semester of tuition.
And that's just for tuition that you can claim?
Tuition and books and course materials.
Okay. Do they distinguish between those expenses, the expenses like books and fees, and the tuition for the course, or is it just all the same?
The statement that you get from the college is going to be just tuition. So if you're in your first 4 years, you're going to have to add your books and materials to it.
Okay. So if you're buying those things, people really need to hold on to their receipts.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And bring it in so that you can get that credit and get the money back. Also, if you're going for your master's or PhD, the lifetime learning credit is available, and that is just strictly for tuition. But usually the tuition maxes out the credit pretty much anyways.
Something that's pretty important for our area too, you mentioned that even if you're taking out loans to pay for your education, you can still claim some of those expenses. What if you are receiving something that's more like a stipend, like the GI Bill, that you don't necessarily have to pay back? Is there anything that you can claim, or would that be double dipping?
That would be double dipping, and I'm glad you brought that up, because the financial institutions, they're going to send you the 1098-T showing the tuition, but if it was paid for with the GI Bill, which is tax-free money, you can't double dip and take this credit. So you have to have paid for it.
All right, so you heard that, and you've been warned. Uncle Sam may have a few questions for you if you do that. What about those other things? Books is pretty straightforward. Tuition is an obvious one. Driving to campus, can you claim any of your mileage or gas?
No, you can't, unless you're going to directly affect your work. Then it may be an employee business expense. But a lot of times, especially when they're going to college, it's almost mandatory now. First year, what do you have to have? A computer. That could go towards this credit.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't realize that.
Other things that folks may not realize that they can deduct?
The computers, the books, materials, supplies, any kind of lab fees, things of that nature. You want to keep track of it. You can't take room and board.
Okay.
But anything directly associated with the education, you can.
What if you've just wrapped up your degree, you've graduated, and you've said, oh man, there were these things that I didn't deduct, I didn't know that I could. Is it too late, or is there any time left to do anything about the expenses that you've had before?
No,
the
you
year
can
ended?
you can go back and amend. If you've already filed your taxes and you should have taken these credits, you can amend up to 3 years back. 2008 forward, we can amend.
All right, that is great news for folks who have already finished up
Yes.
their continued education or gotten that degree. Take a look back 3 years. Jackson Hewitt can help you out if you need to amend some previous returns because you just didn't know. 1-800-234-1040, and we will see you tomorrow with more tax information. Thanks very much. All right, stick around. Melinda will continue to tackle your questions this morning, though we're going to move over to the Hampton Roadshow Buzz Center next.
And don't forget about our pop quiz. Today's winner will receive a Mirror Mirror movie prize pack, including a pair of movie passes. Opens tomorrow. Just log on to thehamptonroadshow.com. Click on the pop quiz button on the top right-hand corner of the screen.
All right, we are back in the Buzz Center, and we're still talking about taxes with Melinda Wiedenhoff from Jackson Hewitt Tax Services. We've got people on our Facebook page, and we're going to start there before we take it outside to the streets. Mary wants to know, I read online there's a statute of limitations of 10 years for the IRS being able to collect back taxes. We have some old, like 98, 99, 2000 tax debt we're dealing with because of unemployment, loss of income, etc. Now that we're both working and making decent money, the IRS is really coming after us. But then I read and wondered, can I get rid of some of this debt? Can you explain how it works? Are you just forgiven of your debt after 10 years?
No, you're not forgiven, but what they can look at, and they probably should have done it before this point, is an offer and compromise. With the change in the financial situation at that time, they can make an offer X amount of dollars, and if the IRS had accepted it, the rest of the debt is forgiven.
Wow, so you can wheel and deal a little bit.
But you can still wheel and deal, and they should look at doing that.
You probably have to kind of really prove, though, that there were some real circumstances that prevented you from paying your taxes,
Right.
and now moving forward things will be different.
Right. And if I give you this, it settles the debt and it goes away.
But
They
you
should
wouldn't
do that.
encourage anyone to sit on those, you know, those debts
No,
intentionally for a decade just to
Interest
see.
penalties keep accruing and accruing. So,
Okay, so if they say no, then you're in big, big
you
trouble.
need to set up a payment plan.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, now let's take it outside and see what our friends out in the community had to ask.
Hey, my name's John and I'm from Smithfield, and I was wondering, how important is it to keep records of your spending when you donate to charities?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. If you are able to donate your charitable contributions, it's very important. You have to have your receipts, and if you give a contribution of more than $250, you have to have not only your canceled check, but a document from the organization that you gave them the donation to.
So say you give some clothing to a charity and you need to account for the value. Do you write down the value of what it was when it was new to you, or do you adjust for what it's worth when you're passing it along?
You have to adjust for what it's worth. Garage sale value, I mean, it's severely reduced. You're not going to get what you paid for it, even if it still has the tags on it, because you didn't get down to that size you thought.
Yeah.
So, but you need to document, write it down, and then just get your receipt from Goodwill, Salvation Army, things of that nature.
And most of those organizations, too, when they take your donation, they are happy to provide you a receipt as well. But sometimes they'll hand you a receipt that you are supposed to fill out yourself. So, okay, so be honest.
So be honest
accurate
and
about
write
that.
it down.
Okay, thanks very much, and thank you for buzzing in.
All right, our friends from Bayport Credit Union are all about people helping people and getting involved in the community. And Bayport is throwing in their support for Young Life of Western Tidewater. Here now to tell us more about that is Paul Richard, Area Director. Paul, welcome to the Hampton Roadshow. We're going to talk about a big bike ride here in a second, but first let's talk about Young Life and the mission and what is it?
Yeah, Young Life is all about kids. I mean, what we want to see adolescents do is succeed in life. We come alongside kids and we basically spend time with them in their world, mentoring them, caring for them. We really want to earn the right to be heard, to speak into their life, and to help them navigate those crazy adolescent years. Kids are under a lot of pressure these days in a lot of ways, and Young Life is an organization that just wants to come alongside and help these kids to be their best.
Young Life is an organization that's been around since 1941.
Absolutely.
It helps kids all around the country and around the world, and one of the most important things is taking them on summer camps and getting them out away and showing them a good time.
Right. You know, the summer camps are, for us, you know, it's a tremendous opportunity to show a kid that there can be differences in life, and kids make life-changing decisions at camp. You know, some of my high school friends who have come to camp with us and their lives have been changed forever. It's an amazing experience to watch a kid grasp that life does not have to be crazy. Life can be wonderful, and it's a real blessing to get these kids to camp. And we really try. We try all year long to get to have as many kids have the opportunity to experience camp as possible.
And every kid who goes to a Young Life camp usually comes back raving about the opportunity and the fun. And what you're here today is to talk about a bike ride, the Young Life 300, and that's 300 miles in 3 days, Paul?
Right, 300 miles in 3 days. A buddy of mine one day said, what can we do to raise money to help get kids to camp? And we thought, well, why don't we ride our bikes 100 miles a day for 3 days and ask people in the community to support us? You know, today, in today's world, and some of the neighborhoods that we're getting into, these kids can't afford much of anything. And so for us to give them the opportunity to spend a week at camp, we have to really work hard at raising the money to get them there. And you know, when a kid's life changes, it's not only the kid that benefits, but it's the family, it's the community, and it's generations. And
talk about raising money through the 300 miles. It's money raised for each mile ridden.
We do. Typically, we have people support us cents per mile. You know, no donation is too small, and no donation is too large either.
Right. And it's important to have the support of Bayport Credit Union and groups like that, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Bayport Credit Union, for supporting Young Life and what we do. We could not do what we do in the community without people supporting who we are and what we do.
Okay, Young Life 300 is a 300-mile bike ride, benefits Young Life of Western Tidewater, begins this Friday, March 30th. If you want to learn more, call Paul at 757-641-0197. And, of course, you can find out more on our website, or you can find out more going to Bayport is their website as well. Member Bayport Community Involvement. Stop by any of the 14 Bayport Credit Union locations across Hampton Roads or log on to bayportcu.org. Paul Richard, hey, I hope you're ready for 300 miles. That's a long bike ride.
I don't think you're ever ready, but I'll sure be glad when it's done.
But you're also doing it for a great reason and a good purpose. So it's an easy 300 miles in a way.
It's an easy 300 miles in a way, and we're thankful that we have the opportunity to do it. So
all right, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
All right, good for them. Still ahead on the Hampton Roadshow, Old Town Portsmouth is a charming area, and one of its most charming personalities is a living legend. We'll show you how a statue can come to life in this week's postcard from Hampton Roads.
Enthusiasm is coming from our live studio audience today from The Dwelling Place, an organization that helps families and children in crisis. Coming up in May is their 9th annual Dwelling Place Golf Classic. Here now to tell us more is Alona Webb-Bruner and Dave Lawson. Dave, we're going to get to you in just a minute, but first, Alona, you guys are an awesome audience. We've already established that. Tell us about the Dwelling Place.
Well, you know, the Dwelling Place was brought together by the ecumenical family, the families, churches in the community. And what happened in 1985, they identified the need for a homeless shelter that was an emergency crisis shelter that could handle women and children and families. We're the only homeless shelter right now that actually deals with teenage children, teenage boys. What we do is we get safe and stable shelter for folks, and then we help them transition in to long-term housing and help them with jobs and other resources that they may need.
So now let's talk about the Golf Classic, the 9th annual one. You guys super excited. Tell us what's involved in it.
Well, it's May 10th. Foursomes are $100 per person. Whole sponsors are $250. The money that we raise goes to help operate the shelter. You know, most of our clients come in, you know, the average age is 9 years old. When they come in, generally they have nothing, no clothing, no food, just what's on their back. So what we try to do is help stabilize them. So with the golf tournament, the money we raise goes right back into helping families get back on their feet.
And to a big thank you to your sponsors.
Oh, absolutely. We couldn't do it with folks like Pomoco Auto Group. They've donated a Fiat for our hole-in-one. You know, we could look great all driving around in like J-Lo in her commercials.
Yes.
And, you know, and we want to put a shout out to that lottery winner. If you all win, you know, just remember, I'm putting it in now.
You guys want to go in on it?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We certainly could use the funds.
And talk about your involvement, Pomoco. How important is it for you guys to get involved in organizations such as the Dwelling Place?
It's important to us. We try to do what we can for the community. The Dwelling Place is important to Pomoco Auto Group. So we thought, what better than put a 2012 Fiat 500 out there for somebody to win, hopefully get a hole-in-one and take it home. And again, just keep supporting the dwelling place. Again, come out and get a foursome together and do what you can to help us out.
Now, if folks aren't golf friendly, it's open to everyone, but if folks can't make it out there, what are some other ways that people can help your organization
We
out?
always need donations, cash, clothing, food, school supplies, art supplies. We do therapeutic programs. You know, anything would be of help. And we operate 2 homes, so things like cleaning supplies, office supplies are always put to good use around our offices. So if people want to volunteer, do volunteer projects, you know, spring break is coming up. We do a lot of activities with the children. We need mentors and folks that can come in and help us, you know, do programs with the kids. You know, we need carpentry work and different skills, specific skills, work on PR and marketing. So, you know, everything can help.
All right. Well, of course, like you said, if you don't have the money, time is always a big key that you can donate. Again, the 9th Annual Dwelling Place Golf Classic, Thursday, May 10th, Elizabeth Manor Golf Course in Portsmouth. To register, make sure you log on to thedwellingplaceva.org or just give them a call, 624-9879. Alona, all of you, thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you. And still ahead on the Hampton Roadshow, you've probably noticed a statue in Old Town Portsmouth. It's Colonel William Crawford, and he's still quite a character. We'll head for Swimming Point and see if he's home on this week's postcard from Hampton Roads.
But first, we'll check in with Chef Wes Stepp from Red Sky Cafe in Duck, North Carolina, just see how fast he can throw the delicious feast together. We're doing lamb chops, so stick around. Welcome back to the Hampton Road Show. We're back in the kitchen with Chef Wes Stepp from Red Sky Cafe in Duck, North Carolina. He's making a feast today, rosemary lamb chops and sesame pan seared mahi. We've already done the mahi. It is now time to do the lamb chops. And Wes, you've got everything hot and ready to go. You said that's the key to a quick meal.
Yes, it is. It's one of the keys. The other key is the preparation. You know, I got all this stuff prepped up. It really doesn't take you much time when you're prepping your ingredients, you know, while it's quiet, and then you all have them in separate containers. That is the key, really. So basically, we got our pan hot. Now, lamb chops. Lamb is traditional.
You said it was traditional Easter.
Right.
Talk about that.
Well, you know, there's a lot of things that are traditions in different holiday seasons. Lamb is great in the spring. One thing about it is we take the traditional and twist it up a little bit. You know? Like we did the Pan Asian style preparation of the fish, and I served it on, as you see right there, the
grits.
You got it. I served it on the grits.
But you have a special grits that you make. It's not just grits.
No, it is Asiago cheese grits, or better known as redneck risotto.
Right, a little special twist from Wes.
And now we got the little lamb chops. They're not very big. You can see they're not going to take long to cook. And I've got a little bit of kosher salt and cracked pepper. Got my pan hot. Sometimes now you'll get these all together on a rack, which I would roast off in the oven at 450 degrees for about 12 minutes. Then I'd cut them off and I'd finish them like this. Now this is just a couple of the different items that we have on our Easter brunch buffet.
Tell me what else is on that buffet, because it sounds delicious.
I tell you what, I love to do, you know, we got eggs Benedict on there, we've got oysters on there, we've got lamb, we've got top round, we've got pork, shrimp and grits, of course. I can't do anything without the shrimp and grits. One traditional thing about lamb, too, is mint jelly. I don't know if they use mint jelly for anything else, but they do it with lamb, you know? So anyway, we're cooking those. I'm using a little bit of mint jelly right in that olive oil.
I think my wife uses mint jelly for an appetizer.
Oh, really?
Mixes it with cheese. I think she mixes it with a light cheese or something.
Well, she's going to have to give me that recipe. I'm just going to cook that down a little bit. Now, we're going to deglaze this pan, and yeah, there may be a little flame here.
We hope so.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're talking.
Little Grand Marnier.
A little bit.
Yep. When I did that show for the Cancer Society, I was dressed in, like, you know, drag.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us all about that.
Almost caught my hair on fire.
Your wig catching on fire.
And then we got a little bit of beef stock. Okay, what I'm doing is, basically, look at that, nice and browned on each side.
Perfect.
And it's cooking down in that juice. That created our sauce right there. We have beef, we have Grand Marnier, and we have the mint jelly. It's going to be a little bit sweet. All right.
I can't get past you cooking in drag, I'm sorry.
I couldn't get past it either. You know, Chris, it was, but it was a great cause. We raised $31,000 in one night.
Oh, that's awesome.
The Brinleys down there did that, and it was really awesome.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. These lambs are already ready. I like to cook them about medium rare.
Okay.
Okay. If you got people that like them more medium well, like maybe Carrie or Ariane, then you just cook them up a little bit. Then we're going to put them right there around the grits, which is the Asiago cheese grits.
And as you can tell with Wes, presentation is crucial.
The first bite is taken with your eyes. And look at this. I got a little mango chutney because, you know, something sweet is good with lamb. I'm going to put it right in the center. Now, really simple little presentation things. I took the strawberries and I just sliced them down during the break.
Right.
And I just fanned them out really quick and easy. Of course, we have the scallion flowers, which is a lot of times people throw those away, and basically I just peeled them down. The other thing is, we got a little Pan Asian working over here, so why not we just garnish with a little bit of chopsticks? I like to add height to my plate, so when you're cooking at home, don't have everything flat on there.
Right, you set them up like that.
Build it up from the center of the plate. Now this is exactly what it looks like when we do a heavy hors d'oeuvres or a tapas presentation at a catering or a chef's on call.
Wow, just like this.
Just like this. And I always bring my ingredients and everything so people can see exactly how we set it up. It's kind of nice.
You share all your secrets with a lot of people too.
You know, I do. And the one big thing is, you know, as long as you follow directions, which is really hard for me. I hate following directions.
You seem to make it up as you go, though.
I kind of do make it up as I go. But I've been working with it for a long time. Little rosemary, because that's what we used on there. Boom, we're done.
There you have it. You have a little mahi, a little lamb chop, and done Wes's way. As always, you can find out so much, and you can have it right at your own table. Lunch, dinner, and cocktails, 1197 Duck Road, Duck, North Carolina. Reservations and information, go to www.redskycafe.com or call 252-261-8646. Red Sky Cafe, Duck, North Carolina. It is a road trip away and well worth the ride. Wes, as always, great job.
Thank you, brother. Take it easy.
All right, time to check in once again with the Buzz Center. And, you know, we've talked about taxes, and now we're going to talk about the lottery.
The lottery.
Yes, how interested the IRS would be in you if you hit the jackpot. What is it, like over 360-something million?
Well, it was 363 million. Nobody won it. Now it's at 476 million.
And going, you know, because people will go and get their tickets.
I bought 10 tickets.
Did
two
you?
numbers right. The other two were 2 numbers off.
I don't have any tickets yet. I'm not usually a lottery player, but
your husband is a financial advisor. He probably has a strategy. If not, I need to talk to him.
He's not Rain Man. I just,
you know, if he picks the numbers.
No, but this is the kind of thing that he might feel inspired to go out there and get a ticket. I think a lot of people who don't normally play will say, I'm playing now.
Well, Ben, he's kind of being a Debbie Downer here. He says, ridiculous, you have a better chance on dying today.
That's nice, Ben.
That is not very nice, Ben. Brandon says, bought 5 quick picks, got 1 number on 2 lines. Crystal Simpson says, I let the machine pick mine. 0, she's going to pick her own next time. A lot of people, it's funny, they're like me, they're like, I had 2 numbers right. It's like, well, you didn't get all 6 right, so stop talking.
So partial credit.
Louisa Coleman says, I haven't played yet or ever, but she's starting to consider it.
Really?
She has
Wouldn't that be something?
476 million reasons to start playing.
That's how it is.
Susie, she says, I always forget to buy a ticket. Roger, he says, so far away from winning, GPS couldn't even get me close.
But you don't know. You have the same chance as somebody else.
Yeah.
That's what I think draws people in.
Maybe the key is to go in, like your whole entire office goes in, gets tickets, and then you maybe have your odds are better than winning. But it's multi-state, so I mean you're going up against a lot of people.
See, I don't know where Ben works, but you know that could imagine if Ben was like the one dude who didn't play.
I'm not going to buy into that.
Right. You have a better chance of dying, you lunatics. I don't know if he talks like that, but you know, imagine if Ben's office wins.
Mike says, I missed it by 6 numbers. And then Mike B says, we won a mega ball out of 5 picks. My wife's office pool won $5. Woo! Out of 48 picks.
Spend it wisely.
But get this, 47 players came close. They matched 5 out of the 6 numbers, and each of them won $250,000.
I'd be happy with that.
So I'm just saying, it must be nice. Amanda says, matched 1 number on 2 separate tickets. And just, you know, you come close, but keep trying. Nobody's won it yet. Friday is the drawing.
The drawing, of course, Friday during the 11 o'clock news right here on WAVY TV 10.
Yes. Well, if you've done business at Town Bank or walked from the High Street Ferry Landing to one of Old Town Portsmouth museums or restaurants, you've probably seen the statue of Colonel William Crawford.
Yeah, it's right there on the corner there by Town Bank. Colonel Crawford founded the small city in 1752, and today he still stands proudly gazing out across the Elizabeth River. You can also catch him buying coffee at Starboards and chatting up the neighbors in Swimming Point. How can that be? You'll see in this week's postcard from Hampton Roads. Well, one of the things that draws people to visit Old Town Portsmouth is the architecture. Like this home, built in the 1700s, it actually once belonged to Colonel William Crawford, the founder of this beautiful riverside town. And you just happen to be out and about today? Sort of. I want to introduce you to Eric Price. For more than a decade, you have become the Colonel and delighted both residents and visitors to Old Town. So I say good day.
And good day to you as well, my dear.
What do you think it is about this area that draws people, the charm that people love about Old Town Portsmouth?
Well, you know, you were just talking about the architecture. Actually, Portsmouth has some of the most varied architecture that you will find on the eastern seaboard. The history that we have here is one of the incredible assets that we have. Portsmouth was the terminus town for the colony of Virginia. Now, terminus, that sounds a bit ill there, but actually what it meant was that every highway into the entire colony eventually terminated right here in Portsmouth. That was because of the shipping and the shipyard. We, of course, are home to the oldest and largest shipyard in America.
All roads led to Portsmouth.
All roads led to Portsmouth. Once we had the invention of the railroad, you know, well, around the Civil War era and such. Again, all railroads would come here. This is where rail met sail.
Wow.
And right at the end of High Street, which, by the way, is the widest avenue in all of colonial America, we have the Seaboard Railroad Station, one of the stops on the Underground Railroad, which there are several in Old Town.
I have to say, you look great for almost 300. How does it make you feel to see people still enjoying this little town that you founded so long ago?
I absolutely love it. And quite honestly, just as the man, well, the actor who portrays the Colonel here, we have some of the most wonderful history, like I say, of the entire area. You can take your kids from the 1600s when Colonel Crawford's grandparents moved here. That would be Captain William Crawford and his wife Margaret. Their children, William, George, both died of yellow fever. And so the Colonel, actually all I had to do to inherit everything that was here was stay alive, which I did. And I still love extolling the history that we have in our area.
What do you think of your likeness in front of Town Bank? How'd they do?
Well, I think they did quite well. Actually, a lovely lady, Sue Landerman, one of our local artists here in Portsmouth, was commissioned by Town Bank to construct that. I had the pleasant duty, I suppose, of posing for the lovely ladies. So you'll notice this bag on there as well. She did fairly well. The features are not necessarily mine, went back to history, pictures, paintings, portraits of English and Scottish folk, as William Crawford was a blend of Scot and English at the time.
All right, so right there at the High Street Landing, you can see the statue of Colonel William Crawford, but if you stroll the streets of Old Town Portsmouth long enough, you're likely to run right into him. And when you do, tell him the Hampton Roadshow sent you.
And give me a shout out.
Good day.
He's been doing that for 12 years, you know, and I mean, he just becomes the Colonel, you know. Yeah.
Crawford Parkway's.
Yeah, and you know, the home where the Crawford family lived, still there in Swimming Point, and you know, I mean, he started, when he started giving the walking tours, he was worried about whether he would be able to fill, you know, an hour's worth of information. Now he says he barely gets it all in 3 hours. Because I mean, when you're talking about a place as historic as Old Town Portsmouth, every, you know, house was something. Every house has a story, and that man knows them all. So we appreciate his time.
Great ambassador.
Yeah.
Very good. Thanks. All right, let's take a look at what we got for the pop quiz for today. So this is a person born in Norfolk, famous actor, comedian, director, Venus Flytrap, Downtown Brown, and Will Barnett. And what we do to words.
You know.
You do it every day.
Butcher?
Talk.
I got this.
Speak.
You read words.
Tim Reed.
So Tim Reed is the
Tim Reed.
WKRP, Simon & Simon, I think, and
Went to Norfolk State.
the last one was, I forget what
That I knew.
Will Arnett. Oh, That 70s Show.
Okay.
You did it, Wheeler. You stumped me today.
And the winner, they get the Mirror passes. Opens Friday. We said tomorrow. We think, and today's Thursday. Our days are mixed up. Friday, 2 passes to go see Mirror.
Speaking of Mirror, Wes Stepp has once again did his signature presentation. Everything that he's made today on the Mirror. Ready for it?
Red Step from Red Sky Cafe never disappoints. Delicious, guys, huh?
Really good. I like the
meat.
sauce.
Hey, want to thank our live, awesome studio audience this morning. The Dwelling Place will tell you about their 9th annual Golf Classic tournament. All the information on thehamptonroadshow.com.
All right, you can find everything that you saw today on thehamptonroadshow.com, and we'll be back tomorrow with another show. Take care, everybody.
See you. Have a good day.
Have a good one.